Have you ever had a strange feeling that something important is sitting inside your phone right now? Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. Before you dismiss that thought, before you assume this is just another video, I want you to do something unusual. Look at your phone. Really look at it. Because the device in your hand is not just a screen. It is a record of your habits, your choices, your dreams, your fears, your conversations, your late-night searches, your unanswered messages, and the life you are slowly building every single day. And hidden somewhere inside it is something that could explain why you feel stuck, why you feel distracted, why you feel overwhelmed, or why you feel like your life is moving slower than it should. The shocking part? Most people never find it. They carry it around every day. They look at it hundreds of times. But they never see it. Tonight, that changes. Stay with me until the end, because the final discovery might completely change the way you use your phone forever. Now think about this. The average person checks their phone countless times every day. Some people unlock it before they even get out of bed. Others check it during meals. During conversations. Even during moments that should be peaceful. And yet very few people ever ask a simple question. What is my phone teaching me about myself? Not what the phone can do. Not what apps are installed. Not what model it is. What is it revealing about me? Open your mind for a moment. Imagine that your phone could speak. Imagine it could tell the truth. What would it say? Would it say you spend your time building your future? Or escaping from it? Would it say you are focused? Or constantly distracted? Would it say you are moving toward your goals? Or away from them? That answer is already inside your phone. And that's where the mystery begins. Because there is one section of your phone that most people never check. Yet it quietly records everything. Not your secrets. Not your passwords. Something much more revealing. Your patterns. Your patterns never lie. People lie to themselves all the time. Patterns don't. You can tell yourself you're working hard. Your patterns tell the truth. You can tell yourself you're focused. Your patterns tell the truth. You can tell yourself you're committed. Your patterns tell the truth. And when people finally discover what their patterns reveal, many are shocked. Because the life they want and the life they're creating are often completely different. Think about that. Every day you make hundreds of small decisions. Each one feels insignificant. But together they create your future. 1 minute wasted here. 5 minutes wasted there. An hour lost without realizing it. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Months become years. And suddenly people wonder where the time went. But the answer was sitting in their phone the entire time. Now here's something even more surprising. The most dangerous thing inside your phone isn't a virus. It isn't a hacker. It isn't a broken app. It's unconscious behavior. The actions you repeat without thinking. The habits you perform automatically. The routines you never question. Because what happens automatically controls your future more than what happens occasionally. Let that sink in. Your future is not created by your biggest decision. It's created by your repeated decisions. And your phone knows exactly what those repeated decisions are. That's why some people become successful while others stay stuck. Not because they're smarter. Not because they're luckier. Because their daily patterns point in a different direction. Now I want you to imagine something. Imagine two people. Both wake up with the same 24 hours. Both have dreams. Both have goals. Both want a better future. But one person uses their phone intentionally. The other uses it automatically. Years later, their lives look completely different. One is growing. One is drifting. One is creating. One is consuming. One is moving forward. One is standing still. The difference wasn't intelligence. The difference was awareness. Awareness changes everything. And that brings us to the most important question of this entire video. What is currently living inside your phone that is quietly shaping your future? Take a moment and think. Not what is physically there. What is emotionally there? What are you feeding your mind every day? Fear? Negativity? Comparison? Endless distractions? Or growth? Learning? Creativity? Purpose? Because whatever you consume repeatedly becomes part of how you think. And how you think eventually becomes how you live. That's why this message matters. Your phone is more than technology. It's an environment. And environments shape people. If someone spends every day surrounded by negativity, negativity grows. If someone spends every day surrounded by inspiration, inspiration grows. The phone becomes a mirror. A reflection of what we allow into our lives. And here's the revelation most people never expect. The thing you need to check in your phone is not hidden in a secret folder. It's not buried in complicated settings. It's not locked behind a password. It's hidden in plain sight. It's your attention. Your attention is the most valuable thing you own. More valuable than money. More valuable than possessions. Because wherever your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention is controlled by random distractions, your life becomes random. If your attention is focused on meaningful goals, your life becomes meaningful. The greatest battle of the modern world is not for information. It's for attention. And every day thousands of things compete for yours. That's why so many people feel exhausted. Not because they're physically tired. Because their attention is constantly being pulled in different directions. And the phone in their hand becomes the battlefield. Now imagine discovering that one hidden pattern. That one repeated behavior. That one habit. The one thing that's been stealing your focus. What would happen if you changed it today? Not next month. Not next year. Today. One decision. One adjustment. One moment of awareness. Sometimes that's all it takes to start a completely different future. People wait for dramatic transformations. But real change often begins quietly. A small realization. A simple truth. A moment where someone finally sees what was there all along. Maybe this is that moment for you. Maybe that's why you clicked on this video. Maybe deep down you already knew something needed to change. Maybe you sensed that your phone was giving you clues. Maybe you sensed that your habits were trying to tell you something. And maybe today you're finally listening. Because the truth is not hidden from you. The truth is repeated to you every day. Through your actions. Through your choices. Through your patterns. Through your attention. The evidence has been sitting in your phone all along. The question is whether you're willing to see it. So before this video ends, I want you to remember one thing. The most important thing inside your phone is not an app. Not a photo. Not a message. Not a notification. It's the story your daily behavior is telling. And that story is still being written. You can change it. You can redirect it. You can improve it. Starting today. Starting now. Because somewhere inside your phone is a reflection of your future. Check it. Learn from it. And if you don't like what you find, remember this. A different future begins with a different pattern. And a different pattern begins with a single decision. Make that decision today. Your future self will thank you for it. Now, before you move on with your day, there is something even more shocking that most people never realize. What if I told you that your phone is not only revealing where your attention goes? It is also revealing what you truly believe about yourself? That sounds impossible at first. But think carefully. Every action leaves a clue. Every choice leaves evidence. And every habit tells a story. You may say you want success. You may say you want peace. You may say you want a better life. But your daily behavior quietly answers a different question. What do you actually expect from your future? Because people invest time into what they believe matters. And they avoid what they secretly believe won't work. That is why two people can hear the same advice and react completely differently. One takes action. The other scrolls past. One builds. The other postpones. One changes. The other waits. The difference is not information. The difference is belief. And your phone captures those beliefs every single day. Think about the moments when you feel motivated. You watch something inspiring. You promise yourself things will be different. You feel energized. You feel ready. You feel unstoppable. Then something happens. An hour passes. A notification appears. A distraction arrives. A random video catches your attention. And suddenly the energy disappears. The dream gets delayed. The goal gets postponed. The momentum fades. Not because you failed. Because your focus was redirected. That is how small distractions become big consequences. Most people never notice it happening. That is why years can pass without meaningful progress. Not because they lacked potential. Because they lost direction. And direction matters more than speed. A person moving quickly in the wrong direction gets further away from where they want to be. A person moving slowly in the right direction eventually arrives. Your phone can reveal which direction you're traveling. And that's a discovery many people find uncomfortable. Because it forces honesty. Not the honesty we show other people. The honesty we show ourselves. The kind that asks difficult questions. Why do I keep delaying important things? Why do I keep repeating the same mistakes? Why do I keep saying tomorrow? Why do I keep waiting for the perfect moment? The answers often hide inside daily routines. The routines become habits. The habits become outcomes. The outcomes become life. That is why awareness is powerful. The moment you become aware, you regain control. Before awareness, habits control you. After awareness, you control habits. And that's where everything begins to change. Now imagine opening your phone and seeing a complete record of your attention. Every minute. Every hour. Every day. What would surprise you most? Would you be proud? Would you be shocked? Would you realize you've been giving your best energy to things that don't deserve it? Many people discover exactly that. They realize they have been investing enormous amounts of attention into temporary things. Temporary arguments. Temporary drama. Temporary distractions. Temporary entertainment. Meanwhile, permanent goals receive temporary effort. And that imbalance quietly shapes the future. The scary part? It happens gradually. So gradually that most people never notice. A few minutes today. A few minutes tomorrow. A few minutes next week. Nothing feels dangerous. Nothing feels significant. But eventually those minutes become a lifestyle. And lifestyles create destinies. That's why the biggest danger isn't one bad decision. It's thousands of unnoticed decisions. Tiny choices repeated so often they become invisible. And invisible habits are powerful because they operate without resistance. You don't question them. You don't examine them. You simply repeat them. Day after day. Month after month. Year after year. Until one day you wonder why your life looks the way it does. The answer is usually hidden in the things you stop noticing. That brings us to another revelation. Your phone remembers what you forget. It remembers how often you return to certain things. It remembers what repeatedly captures your attention. It remembers where your energy goes. And energy is precious. Every day you wake up with a limited amount of it. Once it's spent, it's gone. You cannot recover today's energy tomorrow. You cannot save yesterday's energy for next week. Each day arrives with a fresh supply. The question is how you use it. Do you invest it? Or do you leak it away? Because many people don't have an energy problem. They have an energy allocation problem. Their attention is scattered. Their focus is fragmented. Their priorities are unclear. And their phone becomes the place where all of that confusion plays out. Imagine if every notification represented a tiny decision. Because it does. Look at this. A notification appears. You choose whether to open it. A suggestion appears. You choose whether to follow it. A distraction appears. You choose whether to give it attention. One choice seems small. But hundreds of choices create a pattern. And patterns create results. The results you're experiencing today are connected to choices you've been making for months and years. That realization can be uncomfortable. But it can also be incredibly empowering. Because if choices created the current reality, New choices can create a new reality. Nothing magical. Nothing impossible. Just different decisions repeated consistently. That's how transformation happens. Not overnight. Not instantly. Through repetition. The same force that creates bad habits can create good ones. The same consistency that builds distractions can build success. The same attention that feeds problems can feed solutions. Everything depends on direction. And that is why this message matters. Because somewhere inside your phone is evidence of the direction you're moving. Not where you wish you were moving. Not where you pretend you're moving. Where you're actually moving. That distinction changes everything. Most people measure intentions. Successful people measure actions. Intentions feel good. Actions create results. Dreams inspire. Actions build. Goals motivate. Actions achieve. The bridge between where you are and where you want to be is action. And your phone records more actions than you realize. Now here's something fascinating. Many people search for hidden secrets. Secret formulas. Secret opportunities. Secret advantages. But the biggest secret is often visible every day. Consistency. The ability to repeat useful actions even when motivation disappears. Because motivation comes and goes. Emotion comes and goes. Excitement comes and goes. Consistency remains. And consistency eventually wins. That is why someone with average talent but strong consistency often outperforms someone with extraordinary talent but poor consistency. One keeps moving. The other keeps stopping. One builds momentum. The other restarts repeatedly. Momentum is powerful. Once it begins, progress becomes easier. The challenge is creating it. And momentum starts with one decision. Then another. Then another. Until a new pattern emerges. Which brings us back to your phone. Because right now, whether you realize it or not, your phone contains clues about your momentum. The question is simple. Is it helping you move forward? Or helping you stay where you are? Only you can answer that. But answer honestly. Because honesty is where growth begins. Not perfection. Not motivation. Not inspiration. Honesty. The courage to see reality clearly. The courage to acknowledge what is working and what isn't. The courage to adjust direction before years pass unnecessarily. That courage changes lives. And perhaps that's why you're still watching. Because part of you already understands this. Part of you already knows there is something important to examine. Something important to improve. Something important to change. The good news? You don't need to change everything. You only need to change the next choice. Then the next one. Then the one after that. Small improvements repeated consistently become extraordinary results. And every great transformation begins exactly the same way. With awareness. With honesty. With a decision. A decision that says, I will no longer ignore what my habits are telling me. Because your habits are speaking. Your patterns are speaking. Your attention is speaking. And somewhere inside your phone, the evidence is waiting to be noticed. The moment you notice it, everything can begin to change. And that moment might be today. But what if the most important thing hidden inside your phone is not a habit? Not a distraction? Not even your attention? What if it is something much deeper? Something that explains why certain dreams never leave your mind? Why certain fears keep returning? Why some goals excite you for a few days and then suddenly lose their power? Stay with me, because this is where the story becomes truly surprising. Most people believe they understand themselves. They think they know what they want. They think they know what motivates them. They think they know what is holding them back. But often they are looking in the wrong place. Because the clues are not hidden in what they say. The clues are hidden in what they repeatedly do. And your phone has become one of the most accurate mirrors ever created. Not because it is intelligent. Not because it is magical. But because it quietly records what receives your attention. Imagine that every tap, every search, every click, every moment of focus leaves a tiny footprint. One footprint means nothing. But thousands of footprints reveal a path. And every path leads somewhere. The shocking question is this. Where is your path leading? Because whether you realize it or not, you are becoming the result of what you repeatedly consume. Read that again in your mind. You are becoming the result of what you repeatedly consume. If you consume fear every day, fear grows. If you consume negativity every day, negativity grows. If you consume excuses every day, excuses grow. And if you consume growth every day, growth grows. The process is slow. Almost invisible. Which is why people underestimate it. A single drop of water seems harmless. But enough drops can carve through stone. A single day seems insignificant. But enough days can shape an entire life. This is why your daily digital environment matters so much. Because environments influence behavior. Behavior influences habits. Habits influence outcomes. Outcomes influence destiny. Everything is connected. Now think back to the last 7 days. Not the highlights. Not the special moments. Think about the ordinary moments. The moments nobody sees. The moments when you are alone with your phone. Those moments matter more than most people realize. Because character is built in private long before results appear in public. Success is visible. Preparation is invisible. Achievement is visible. Discipline is invisible. Victory is visible. Habits are invisible. And invisible things often create visible outcomes. That's why some people seem lucky. From the outside, it looks like success appeared suddenly. But behind the scenes there were thousands of invisible decisions. Thousands of small actions. Thousands of moments where they chose growth over comfort. And here's the fascinating part. Your phone often reveals which side you're choosing. Growth or comfort. Progress or delay. Action or avoidance. Creation or consumption. The answer is already there. Now imagine that someone could look at your patterns and predict your future. Not perfectly. But surprisingly accurately. Would that be possible? In many ways, yes. Because patterns are powerful predictors. If someone consistently saves money, a financial future becomes more likely. If someone consistently learns new skills, opportunities become more likely. If someone consistently improves their health, better outcomes become more likely. Patterns matter. And your phone is full of patterns. That is why awareness is such a superpower. Most people live on autopilot. They react. They scroll. They consume. They repeat. And years pass. But awareness interrupts autopilot. Awareness asks questions. Why am I doing this? Is this helping me? Is this moving me closer to where I want to be? Or further away? Those questions create transformation. Because once you start questioning patterns, you stop being controlled by them. And that leads to one of the biggest revelations of this entire message. The real danger inside your phone is not technology. It is unconscious living. Living without noticing. Living without examining. Living without intention. The opposite of unconscious living is intentional living. Intentional living means choosing instead of drifting. Creating instead of reacting. Directing your attention instead of surrendering it. And when people make that shift, extraordinary things happen. They become more focused. More confident. More productive. More peaceful. Not because their phone changed. Because their relationship with it changed. That difference is everything. A tool can build. A tool can distract. A tool can educate. A tool can waste time. The tool is not the deciding factor. The user is. And that realization puts the power back where it belongs. In your hands. Not in an app. Not in an algorithm. Not in a notification. In your hands. Now let me tell you something that many people need to hear. You are not stuck because of one bad day. You are not behind because of one mistake. You are not failing because of one setback. Life is bigger than a single moment. What matters most is the direction you choose repeatedly. Direction beats intensity. A person moving steadily toward a goal often surpasses someone who starts fast but quits. Consistency beats occasional bursts of effort. That truth has changed countless lives. And it can change yours too. But only if you pay attention. Because attention is where change begins. Nothing improves until it is noticed. Nothing grows until it is nurtured. Nothing transforms until it is acknowledged. That's why the title of this message matters so much. This is in your phone. Check now. Not because there is a secret file. Not because there is a hidden code. Not because there is a mysterious message waiting to be discovered. Because your phone contains evidence. Evidence of your habits. Evidence of your priorities. Evidence of your attention. Evidence of the future you're building one day at a time. And that evidence is available right now. The question is whether you're willing to look honestly. Many people avoid honest reflection. Because reflection can be uncomfortable. It forces reality into view. It removes excuses. It reveals patterns. But it also reveals opportunities. And opportunities are powerful. Because every pattern can be changed. Every habit can be improved. Every direction can be adjusted. No matter how far you've drifted. No matter how much time you've wasted. No matter how many mistakes you've made. A new direction can begin today. That is the beauty of awareness. The moment you become aware, a new possibility appears. A possibility that did not exist while you were operating on autopilot. And that possibility is simple. You can choose differently. You can focus differently. You can live differently. One decision at a time. One day at a time. One habit at a time. Now imagine yourself 1 year from today. Picture that version of yourself clearly. What would make you proud? What would you regret? What would you wish you had started today? The answer to that final question is important. Because someday, later, becomes too late. Someday, tomorrow, becomes yesterday. And someday the opportunities available now may no longer be available. That is why awareness matters today. Not next month. Not next year. Today. Because the future is not created in the future. The future is created in the present. And every present moment becomes a building block. A brick in the foundation of tomorrow. Your phone is quietly documenting those bricks. Every day. Every hour. Every minute. The story is being written whether you pay attention or not. The difference is that now you know. Now you can see. Now you can choose. So when this video ends, don't just move on. Pause for a moment. Look at your phone. Look beyond the screen. Look beyond the apps. Look beyond the notifications. Look at the patterns. Look at the habits. Look at the direction. Because hidden inside your phone is something incredibly important. A reflection of the life you are creating. And once you see that reflection clearly, you may never use your phone the same way again.